Good afternoon. This is a warning to any OCD people. I am a jack of all trades, so this is not the best video if you are OCD and wanting to have some professional guy in a suit and tie. Please avoid a panic and stop the video now. Well, I really didn't do the best video here, so I'm going to just do a voiceover because it's pretty miserable. This is the first time I've ever done one of these 30s, and it was really important that I'd had this video. I watched the video backwards when I put it back together. It's not a complicated job. If you're at all handy, then please tackle this. I had a friend that told me that he's worked on a bunch of his, and he warned me in advance that it is basically a three-dimensional puzzle. So all these little screws, put them in order if you can. Put your pieces in order. It makes a huge difference. I ended the entire progress, the entire repair, with missing one screw, and so I was very happy that I didn't have extras, and that I just had to find one and a sheet metal screw and threw it on the bottom. So it worked out. These sides are miserable. The sides are the weirdest things, and the top is the weirdest thing. It took me forever. And that's part of the reason why I put it in fast forward. The sides kind of pivot out. There's a pin right up at the very, very top that pins into the whole superstructure and holds it together. And they kind of pivot out. They're really silly. So once you get all the screws loose, then the sides pivot, and the top does not pop up. It slides forward. It's got some tabs, some dog-ear tabs that hold. So as you push it forward, it just pops. So you'll watch me struggle with it here for the next long time. And then eventually I just figure out that it slides forward, and it just comes right off. And there's tons of wiring, and we'll get to that here, hopefully. I'll let you enjoy. There it is. Okay, I got it. This is why I put it on fast forward. So it slides forward, and here are the things, the three ribbons you just pull straight off, and they come very easily. And set that out of the way carefully, of course. And then there's 4 screws on top holding the whole computer thing in place. So here I'm trying to figure out how to get the sides off, get those 2 screws, and then it just pivots out and slides out. So I struggle with that for a little bit. Pull the whole motherboard out of the way. So there's the outside skins that are thick and that encompass the back plate and hold the whole thing together. And then there's kind of an inner structure that's more like a heat shield. And so those are thin gray pieces of metal. So make sure to put your left and right in places that you can remember left and right, or mark them however you do best. But I had an entire workbench, and I used every inch of it and more. So spread this out, get it like one of those lifetime tables, work on this. Do not try and work on this in a confined space. If you do, you will mix up parts, you will get the three-dimensional puzzle backwards, and you will stop basically at this point right here, because it's pretty frustrating to when you're getting it put back together. At this point right here is when it's the weirdest. I did not need to take the fan off. You do not need to take the fan off. And if you do, like I did, do not touch the fan blades. Do not bend them. Do not set that down. If you bend that, it will forever be a pop, 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 and there's no way to rebalance it. That's one of the things that Toyo people told me. They said that the fans are the #1 part that people have to buy, because they get aggressive in cleaning it, they set it down, and they break it. So now I'm taking the top part off, and there's a seal there. And now I'm taking the whatchamacallit, the top burner off. And then there's the top manifold, the heat exchange manifold. And then there's the beginnings of the combustion chamber. tons of screws. I was told that my seals would be horrible. I've never seen seals in such great shape. I took apart a Lazer 301 recently, and that thing was 2 years old, 2.5 years old, and the seals disintegrated. Look at those seals. They're in perfect shape. Couldn't believe it. This thing is about 7, 8 years old. I bought it from a guy, used it in a garage for a while, and then used it in a little cozy shack cabin. And so here's the three-dimensional puzzle. Which goes first, which goes second, all really important. So when you get to putting it back together, make sure to watch this video in reverse. Here I'm just gently blowing everything, getting everything nice and clean. This Lazer 30 was exceptionally clean. I was shocked. The biggest portion that was dirty was the burner pot, and we'll get to that here in a moment. So that was the heat sensor, the flame sensor, and so I made sure to put a brand new one of those in. The igniter was in perfect shape. I was really surprised how nice that was. Cleaned that up, and it fired right up and went through all the tests. No warpage. I looked at that thing. The Toyo folks said if it's warped or mushroomed, that means it's overheated and it needs to be replaced. This was tough. Lefty-loosey. I pushed down, I turned, I pushed down, I jiggled. There was a lot of creosote down in the bottom of that. So jiggle, pull up, push down, turn left, turn right, but do not break that. If you break it, you're buying a whole new assembly. So here I've got some better pictures of how absolutely horrible that is in there. Once we get to those pictures, you'll see that it was really bad. Pretty much the intake drip fuel line was just encased with creosote and sulfur. And so I was able to chip that out. It looks great. It looks almost brand new. One of the things that I wish I would have filmed, but I literally just could not do it. I was really stressing out, making sure I did this right. So I'm sorry, but I stopped filming when I took apart the fuel carburetor there. Super easy to do. I just cleaned it out with carburetor cleaner, dried it real good, blew out the lines in reverse, took the pump apart. Everything looked great. Everything looked just like it should. It was not dirty at all. There was no debris in there. I've made sure to have all my fuel tanks with a goldenrod water and fuel separator, fuel filter, one of the clear ones. So my fuel is exceptionally clean, and my carburetor thanked me for it. So here is how dirty it is. It is, I'll get another video here going when I slow it way down, and I'll show you how dirty it is in there. The before and after I needle scale it. I was able to do some videoing of when I was needle scaling. And that vent tube is just kind of strange. They gave me a rubber one in exchange. Okay, it cut off there. It switched to this video. They gave me a heat protected rubber vent tube, and I'd suggest you do that. So here I'm needle scaling it, and it really turned out great. My camera got all sideways here, so sorry, it's now in an awkward position. Turn your air pressure down on your needle scaler, like all the way down on your compressor. Put your hand on it and just make sure that you're not going to punch through, because this metal is super thin. And if you have your needle scaler up to like cleaning Schedule 40 pipe on a welding pipe, you're going to bust right through this thing. So turn it down to where you can touch it with your hand and it's not going to hurt you. And just gently get in there and make sure to watch out for your fuel tube that goes in there. Stay away from that. Chip, that's where all the chipping is going to, you're going to be tempted to get too close to that, and you're going to regret it if you break that. So I chipped away for a good 15-20 minutes, and I just kept at it and cleaned it and dumped it out and cleaned it. And then I did the side walls of the entire thing and got the little teeny little microscopic air intake vents that are all along the side. There's some down on the bottom, there's some up at the top. And I just took my time here, and eventually I just stopped the video because I just couldn't really see that I was getting a very good video for you guys. But get a needle scaler on Amazon. I think I spent $40 for mine, and it worked stunningly well. I'm going to use that thing to brush my teeth, to file my toenails. I mean, it is incredibly nice tool that I should have had years and years ago. So you get the picture here. I'm going to just tell you that if you go fast at this point, you're going to be spending the $150 if you can find one of these pots. The Lazer 30s are more and more discontinued parts. So if you know how to TIG, you could probably weld it and fix it and put a new bottom on it. That's what I was going to do. If I punched through it, if my pot was bad, I was going to cut a piece of material, I think it's stainless, and just TIG it on there and thumb my nose at the Toyo that discontinued these pots. Or if you can find one, great, let me know. But I was told that they're more and more discontinued. So anyway, the scaler worked good. Take your time. If you have to fix it, TIG it with some stainless and get back in there with, if your Toyo is still working good. I hear that you can Frankenstein one of these things and sell the motherboard for a ton of money, and spare parts these things out, and people just really eat them up. But I just wanted to fix mine. So anyway, let me show you the before and after of this. It worked out pretty good here. Okay, so here's the before. Look at all that junk down in there. It's just neglect and stupidity of me to let it go 7 years without cleaning. This thing was running great. It was just kind of limping along. And so I replaced it with another one for a renter that's in our little cozy shack. And here's the after. Man, it just turned out so good. And I took a nice wire and ran it through the fuel inlet there, and just ran it through there nice and gentle. If you just a regular baling wire. And so now that the pot is clean, I took a bunch of carburetor cleaner and degreaser and sprayed and scrubbed and sprayed and scrubbed, washed it with a little bit of water and made sure to keep it away from anything that plug that the cat's playing with here. Scrubbed and cleaned and got all the junk out of it, made it sparkling clean, put it next to the fire for a good half an hour. Cat helped, made sure it was smoking hot and dry and clean, so that I could apply the heat, high temp paint to the bottom of the pot there that acts as kind of a mat for the fuel to hit and vaporize. Then once I got everything put back together, watched the video 5, 10, 20 times, put everything back together. I hooked it up to a fuel line here, a Hillbilly fuel line, fired it up. Man, she started first try, turned it off, start up again, got it up to about 90 degrees, and let it run for about half an hour, and emptied the fuel, wrapped it up, put it in the storage container, and I'm ready for next time that I need a Toyo. So cheers, hope this helps. Okay, it fired right up. Hooked up a gallon jug of diesel. Hooked it up and made sure to open the door. Boy, it really smells horrible in here. Works great. I had it running for about 5-10 minutes, and now I'm letting it shut off, and I'm going to turn it back on, see if it'll start back up. Super hot exhaust here. Intake is working. Fans are working. Everything is working just as it should. That way I'll drain the fuel from the carburetor, wrap it up in plastic real tight, shrink wrap, and then put it away in storage, and when I need it, I'll have it as a backup. So this is how you do the Lazer 30. Works really good.